In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to book an NYSPI conference room using the new Outlook 365 desktop app on Windows 10. Now, the first thing you're going to want to do is make sure that you are actually using the new Outlook desktop and that you are also in the calendar section of the app. Now, in this tutorial, there's going to be one major assumption. That is that you already know which conference room you want to reserve. Whether you have imported the calendars from within Outlook or you saw the conference room calendars on Insight, or whatever the case is. The assumption is that you already know which conference room that you want to book, and you just need to know how to do so. Now, if you don't know this information, there are several other video tutorials regarding that topic on Insight that can help you out. At this point, I'll assume that you know the availability of the conference room that you want, and so you're now ready to make a reservation. In order to make a reservation, you need to remember three important steps. Number one, you start off by creating an event on a calendar that you are able to make modifications to, like add or delete an event. For example, your own. Now, the reservation process happens while you are creating the invitation in two parts. The first part is to add the requested room as an attendee to the event. The second part is to use the location section of the invitation to mark the calendar of the room you're trying to reserve with your meeting. Now, I'm sure that last part sounds a little bit cryptic, and so I'm going to show you all of this in action. So I'm over here again in the calendar section using the new Outlook. And the first part is to create an event on a calendar that you can control, one that you can make modifications to. And so an example of that is my own calendar. Now, I'm going to open up the calendar of the room that I'm going to assume, or that I actually know will be free, and that is 1703. My calendar on the left-hand side, just called calendar, and room 1703 on the right, nyspi.rm.1703. So creating the event on the calendar that I control, I'm going to start at 12 o'clock. I'm going to do a right click and then click on new event. And now we are already into the second and third part. We're going to be filling out the event invitation. I'm going to give it a title. And I'm going to skip over the attendees for right now and deal with the duration. I'm going to make it an hour-and-a-half meeting. Now, while I'm over here, I'm just going to mention that I'm going to have a separate tutorial going over recurring meeting. But in this tutorial, I'm going to ask that you do not use this all-day switch over here. This does not act the way you may intend it to. If you need to reserve a room for the entire day, please just specify the entire day by putting the start and end time, whether it's 9 to 5, 8 to 4, whatever it is. It doesn't make a difference. Just please do not use the all-day meeting. Long story short, people won't see your meeting and they will be double booking over your entire day and you will not be happy. Anyway, moving back over here. Now, the title is set, the duration is set, and here are parts, or rather, here's the second and third, or the two parts of the actual reservation process. So let's just say that I'm going to invite others later on. But I need to invite the room to make sure that I can actually have it. So I'm going to type in here 1703, and there they are. Okay, so, and if you notice, 1703 also jumped down to here under location. Now, if you look over here, you can see everyone is available. All right. So 1703 is an attendee and also the location of the room. This is how you've marked the calendar, by putting the room as a location on the invitation. When you send this invitation, this will modify itself to be more of a request to room 1703 to be the location of an event. When you hit send, you will see on your calendar, and I'll show you that over here. In this case, you'll see on my calendar that I will have a meeting from 12 to 1:30 over here. And you'll see on the left-hand side, there'll be a solid line, a solid bar. And then a few moments later, hopefully the system is working correctly, you'll see the same thing on the right-hand side under 1703, but you'll see instead of a solid bar, you'll see zebra stripes. And that indicates that there is a tentative meeting in that time slot. And so anyone who tries to book a meeting during that time, they should see that there is a meeting already there tentative, and they should look elsewhere. I am going to just get rid of that. So we have covered all parts. We know to add a title to the meeting. We know to modify the duration. We know that there will be another video going over recurring meeting, and we know not to use the all day switch over here. We know that if we put the name of the room in the attendee section, that it automatically populates down in the location section, which is what we want to happen. And doing that means that in the location section, that puts the meeting on the calendar. And as an attendee, it sends the request to the approver. And so that's what I'll do right now. I'll send. And there is my meeting. And you can see the solid blue line. Now, in a few moments, there it is right there. You'll see this exact same meeting, but I have a solid line, and over here, there are zebra stripes. Now, when your meeting is approved, what you'll see is this. Well, I can just go ahead and say accept, because why? I control this room. And so when I hit accept, now you can see that this meeting here is confirmed. Let me just close that. And so there you go. Now, if I need to cancel this meeting, I can do that by simply right-clicking and say cancel this meeting, send, and notify attendees is fine. Yep. Hit send. Disappears over here. And in a few moments, we'll see that this room also loses that meeting. And there you go. And now you may see that this meeting somehow still lingers on the calendar. Not a big deal. If you see that it says canceled, you can ignore it and go ahead and book your meeting. If possible, somebody will remove the event quick enough so that it doesn't cause any confusion. But just know that if you see it says canceled, it is canceled. It would be nice if it did delete itself, but that is not always the case. And so that's the little quirks of Outlook 365. All right, so that's basically covers it. Again, you create an event invitation on a calendar that you can control. And when you do that, you do a right click on the time slot, you fill out the title, the duration, and then you specify here the name of the room that you want. And also, it's 1703 is what's there, but let's say I wanted to do the boardroom. If you were following from the other tutorial, you would know that the boardroom is also in there, so we can do NYSPI.RM.boardroom. I believe it's just there. There we go. So boardroom is there. And again, whatever you put up here, it puts it down there. Okay? So that takes care of those two things. Again, a whole different video on recurring meetings. Please do not use the all-day switch. Oh, one last thing. In this section, if you wouldn't mind, please, putting in here your first and last name as well as the best way of reaching you by phone. If for whatever reason your meeting needs to be unfortunately canceled or needs to be just moved to a different room, the fastest way to reach you would be by phone. So if you wouldn't mind putting your first name, your last name, and a phone number that you can be best reached at in an emergency for what I just explained before. All right? Well, that takes care of this tutorial, and I will see you in the next one. If you had issues with this tutorial or any other tutorial, please contact me, Simon Williamson, at simon.williamson@nyspi.columbia.edu, or please contact the service desk. Thank you.